Hi, this is Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. So I have a tutorial for you today. I'm going to try to not make it too long so that you can get through it pretty quickly, but we're going to actually be making a junk journal today. This is going to be a recycled cereal box, one signature cover. It's going to be fabric covered, and it's going to be kind of like a mini. So I'm using the kit called Songbird by Calico Collage, and I tried something different that I haven't done before, and I printed all of the pages half size. Normally they are a full page, and I printed 2 to a page. And on my computer, all I do when I select print is print to the 5x7 size, and then I print 2 to a page. So everything, even all of the ephemera and embellishments, are printed at half size, so they will all fit perfectly. So these are all the pages in the kit that are printed out and already cut to this size. I believe it is 6.5 this way by 5. So the journal cover that I cut out of the cereal box is 7.5 by 5.5, I think. I'm pretty sure the pages will fit in there. Watch me be wrong. But these gorgeous pages, and there's so many of them in the kit. So what I decided to focus on in the kit is the pages in the kit and not add any scrapbook paper. The only thing I'm going to be adding is a few music pages and a few dictionary pages. Since this is a Songbird kit, I have 3 music pages, and this is from a music book, Hannon's Piano Exercises. And so I used Glimmer Mist, and I set down a heart doily dye that I sprayed over. So I have blue, pink, and yellow. This doesn't show up very well because it's a very light yellow, but you can see it in person. So I have 3 of those, and then I have 3 dictionary pages. This has the definition for music. This might have the definition of song, I'm not sure, and this has the definition of bird on it, and they're like vintage dictionary pages. So those are the only extra pages I'm going to be sprinkling throughout. And the way I can also get away with that is because on the back of all of these I sprayed coffee, and I even used some stenciling on some of the pages. Some of them I just sprayed. And so we're going to have all of the extra coffee dyeing to do stuff and add pockets, tuck spots, and all of those things. So yeah, there's going to be a total of, there's 20 pages. So when we fold them in half and we have sides, that's 80 sides, or listed as 80 pages. So let's get that cover built so we can put these pages into it. So here's the cover, and I'm going to, so since I'm second guessing myself on this cover, I'm going to actually fold it in half to make sure these pages will fit in here, because I figured it out, but now I'm second guessing myself. So just gonna make sure. Yes, they will. They're a little on the small side, so I'm gonna trim. Yeah, that's what I did. Okay, so I like to add a 1/2 inch. So if this is 5 inches, this is going to be 5.5 inches, and that is perfect. So if this is 6.5 inches, this should be 7, but I cut it to 7.5. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So as you can see now, this page is going to fit perfectly in there. Okay, so we're going to, this is just going to be a 1-layer cereal box cover. When I do the bigger ones with the spines, the like 1 inch or 2 inch spines, I double up this, but this is plenty thick enough for what we're doing. So I'm going to leave this for the inside, and then I'm going to cover this with fabric. But the fabric that I'm going to be using is this sweater that is too small for me. It doesn't fit me, and it has beautiful flowers on it. As you can see, it's going to look beautiful with the kit, but since this is kind of see-through, when I laid it over here, I noticed that I could see the cereal box through it. So first I'm going to cover the cereal box with some burgundy cardstock. So pretty much I just layer everything up with a glue stick so it doesn't slip, and then I sew around the edges. So this is not rocket science. We don't measure anything, or at least I don't. You're welcome to. I just glue stick that down, and if you line up 2 sides, it's less cutting. I mean, yes, I could just slap this right down on the middle and trim around all 4 sides, but it will save me a lot of time to line up 2 of the sides, and then when I flip it over, I only have to trim here and here. So I'm just going to trim that down, and that will cover up the food. You can add scrapbook paper or something to the inside. I'm going to keep this cardboard look because I like it. I think it's junk journaling. All right, so now we have this. This is our outer cover. So now I'm going to cut a piece of this sweater to go over it. And I think the way I'm going to do that is take my glue stick and just messily add a bunch of glue. And I like using a glue stick because it doesn't, it dries pretty quickly. You don't need a lot, and it's just enough to hold it without wrinkling stuff up. All right. So this is the back of the sweater. This is a very, very tiny, tiny sweater. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to put straight, smoothing it out. And then I'm going to set this down somewhere on it and press down really hard and then trim it out. I've been abusing these poor scissors. Let me get a longer pair. That'll be easier. Okay. Okay, so I'm sorry they keep talking to me. I'll be right back. All right, I know I can never get through a tutorial, and I was going to just do a voiceover, but it's a lot easier for me to explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. I'm going to regret it and wish I did a voiceover, though. My boys have been fussy all day. We're all getting sick after we went away for the weekend, and they went to Legoland and got sick, of course. So this is not perfect. This material, I don't have fabric scissors that I'm using right now, so it is a little bit like messy, but that actually looks really, really good on a junk journal. It doesn't have to be straight as long as it covers what you want it to cover. So there we go. And if there's any parts that are a little sticking out, you can just trim them. Okay, now this material is really weird. I've never worked with it. It's very flimsy. It's like one of those really lightweight sweaters, and I'm gonna have a hard time sewing around this, so I'm gonna take my glue stick and make sure I get the corners, because that's gonna be flapping under my sewing machine and causing bunch ups. So we want all of the corners down. Now if you do not have, there's a hair or something, if you do not have a sewing machine and you're not going to stitch it down, then you're going to not want to use the glue stick. You're going to want like tacky glue or some kind of a liquid glue that you can paint over the whole cover, or put over the whole cover so that all of the edges are glued permanently down. But since I'm going to be using the sewing machine, I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch all the way around, and I will be right back. So I'm back, and I stitched all the way around, and even with gluing it as I did, it's still puckered a little bit here at the bottom, but don't even worry about that. One, you could just leave it the way it is, or I'm going to show you how you can cover it really simple. No one will ever know. It looks amazing. I have my glue gun here, and I am just going to put a whole layer of glue, and I've been using the Gorilla glue sticks because they're stronger and you have more time to work with them before they dry. And then I'm just going to stick down some of this really pretty slightly off white textured lace. Well, that's a mouthful for, yeah. And then I'm going to cut that off, and that's going to be the bottom. That's just going to be a little bit of lace hanging off the bottom. Now it looks perfect. It's perfect, as I do messy on purpose, but that's the cover. Okay. So now we're going to fold it in half. And as you can see, you can just trim up the side if this is sticking over too much. All right, there we go. There's the cover. So then next we're going to assemble our pages. So here's all our pages, and all of the ones we're just going to fold in half like this. And when I am putting together the pages, I see a lot of people write on the junk journal groups on Facebook, and they say, is it okay to do this? Is it okay to do that? Is this, what are the rules? There's no rules with junk journals. I could put all of these, birds at the beginning and all of the other papers at the end. There's no right or wrong way. But my thinking is usually, what is the page that I want to see when I open up the journal? Because that is a first impression. So I used to, when I started making junk journals, I used to start off with a page of coffee dyed paper. I don't know why, I just did, and that's fine. But coffee dyed paper is a great filler. It's not always the best first impression when you open up the journal. So now I like to start with a really eye-catching image. And so once we get all these folded in half, we're just going to look through them and pick whatever one we think will look best when you open it up. And usually I like it to coordinate with the cover to some extent and be kind of an eye-catching image. Most people are not going to do anything with the first page either. They might put a photo or their name, but there's not usually a whole lot going on the first page. So I'm just going to look here and see what coordinates with this cover. I do like that one. I do like that one. Well, that's lots of pretty. I'm just trying to show you my thought process. And since this one has the frame, this one wins. Just for me. You know, you could do whatever you wanted. So then I kind of turn my brain off. And since I have 14 of these and 6 of these, about every 2 or 3 of the bird pages, I'm going to slip in one of these. So now I'm going to stop thinking. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, add a dictionary page. 1, 2, add a music page. 1, 2, add another dictionary page. 1, 2, add another music page. And we're only doing one signature, so no worries. My poor 2-year-old, he didn't really get that sick. If you can hear him whining in the background, everything today is causing whine. So I'm going to go see what's bothering him, and I will be back. Okay, so, you know, it might take a while to get through this tutorial. That's just the way it is. Okay. This is why I don't do a lot of tutorials, but you guys are so patient and understanding. So here's our signature. This is a chunky 80 pages front and back. And then it's going to go right in here. So before we punch the holes to sew in the signature, what I like to do, and I didn't used to do this and it caused me so many problems, but now I do. So I line it up where I want it and then I paper clip it. So let me go grab those paper clips. All right. So what I do is I carefully hold it in place and I paper clip the whole thing to the cover where I want it so it doesn't slip when we are either putting it through the sewing machine or poking holes. Now we're not going to put this through the sewing machine. We're going to sew a pamphlet stitch. And I have my old 1940s Paul Revere book that I use for this. And I put that right in the middle, and I don't even measure. I just take my awl and I start in the middle and I press till I feel it go all the way through. And since this is small enough, we're just going to do 3 holes. So I'm going to go up here and then I'm going to eyeball it down there. Okay. So now as you can see, the holes went all the way through. This is my favorite thread right now for, it's like a yarn, almost like a sock yarn, maybe for knitting socks or for tatting, or I don't know. I got it at Goodwill for like $1, and there's a lot of it and I love it. It's kind of like embroidery thread, but it doesn't have all of the, you can't separate it. It's thick, just like it. So I put it on my big needle and I'm going to start in the middle. And I know that you guys have all seen a million videos like this, and then we are going to come up, go back into the middle, find that last hole to come up through. And if you leave it all clipped like this, your pages won't slip. You'll be able to find those holes. Now what I do is I tie a double knot. I have too much thread here, so I'm going to cut this down so I can tie it better. And make sure you get it really tight because then your signature slips. And I've had that happen and it's no fun. So super tight. There we go. Trim it to wherever you want it. Pull off the paper clips. And this is the bare bones of the journal. So now we are going to talk about the cover. Stuck on the lace. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the cover, like I said. So we could leave it like this, but I'm going to layer it. Also, I'm going to be adding a little mini tassel to this. I'm not going to be doing the tutorial on that. We're just doing a bare bones cover, but I'm going to show you what I've started to do for adding the tassel. I punch a little hole right here instead of on the spine, because when I punch a hole here, it tends to, when I put the eyelet in, it tends to kind of break. But right here, it's just what I've been doing recently, for the little ones, not for the big ones that actually have a spine that's like 1 inch or 2 inches or more like that. Then yes, I punch it right on the spine and it looks beautiful on a shelf. But these ones I've been doing a little differently. And then we're also going to add some eyelets to add a closure. So I'll be right back. So this is my crocodile, and it is in rough shape. I've abused it to death. But it'll work for now. Okay, so we're just going to use the 1/8 inch, and I've been punching it somewhere right around there, adding my eyelet. I might find another way that I like doing it at another time, but this is just what I've been doing recently. Okay, and then for the closure, I'm also going to do little eyelets, and front, I just eyeball it. We're going to use gold. I got these at Michael's, and I love the little tin they're in. I think they are We Are Memory Keepers brand, maybe? Might be Recollections brand. And then I just eyeball kind of with my thumb. It's a junk journal. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. There. There's beauty in imperfection, right? I think it's just a stupid quote, really, but sometimes there's truth to it. Okay, so I have some ribbon that I'm going to use for the closure. I'm just going to fold it in half and cut it. And this is one of my favorite ways to do a closure is I start here and I thread it through the eyelet like so, and then I tie it. Either you can tie it once and put a dot of hot glue, or you can double knot it so that it stays. Either way seems to work just fine. It's actually easier to do it once in the hot glue, but I'm trying to do it twice here because my glue gun is not warmed up. I know I just used it, but the batteries don't work on it, and I'm not near an outlet for it. Okay, so there's that, and then I thread this one through the back. Hopefully this video isn't too long and YouTube doesn't let me upload it. I'm having problems with that. It's like if it's on my phone and it's over 15 minutes long, and it's like files too big, so I haven't looked at the time, so I better hurry. We are not going to be embellishing this. We're just doing the bare bones and decorating the cover. All right, so then that is the closure. Then I just look and make sure that these are even. So then when you tie that, that'll hold it closed. And I'm actually going to tie it. Well, let's look inside first. For decorating it, there's a whole bunch of items that come with the kit, and you can cut them out and put them in any way you want. Add any other embellishments. This video is not about embellishing. So that's up to you. But I'm going to close this. I will embellish it, and I'll do a flip through like when it's all done, and I list it in my Etsy. So there's the closure. Now we're going to decorate the front. What I like to do when I'm working with a kit is find one of the like journal cards or images that I like, and then use it for the cover. And the one that's standing out to me is this one right here. I think that one's really, really pretty. And so I'm just going to cut it out. I'm not good at tutorials, guys, because I'm so clumsy and messy, and my life is so full of interruptions. So I don't have those perfectly scripted, beautifully edited tutorials. Okay, so that's going to be my front. And I am going to, I think I'm just going to rip around the edge a little bit, and then just to kind of give it a more junky look. Be careful not to rip the image. Probably going to rip it here. There we go. Now I'm going to distress it and stitch around it, and I will be right back. All right, so I just used a straight stitch around it, and then I'm going to use some tea dye distress ink and my Ranger blending tool to just distress the edges so we don't have that stark white where it ripped. Okay, then I was thinking, I pulled it, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. This is the die cut I used when I sprayed the music paper, kind of as a stencil. So I'm trying to decide, maybe it would be nice to layer it on the front with this. Or is that just... And I also have these paper flowers. I made a whole bunch of them, and they have buttons on them. And since I made a whole ton, I'm actually going to list 3 lots on Etsy. So when you check out my shop, you can purchase one of these lots. Each lot's going to be 20. But I think I want to use one of these ribbons, flowers that I made. And I'm thinking, yes, I love that. Okay, so what we're going to do is just layer it up here. And my glue gun is cold, so I'm going to grab my quick dry tacky glue. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see better what I'm doing. So here's my easy squeeze, quick dry tacky glue. And that will work in a pinch. And so I'm going to just add some glue all around the die cut. Got this in Happy Mail. I don't remember where or from whom, but it was a while ago because it was in my old stash bucket. But I thought it was really pretty when I pulled it out. Okay, and then we're gonna get some glue. And I've noticed when you're gluing, if you get the glue on the stitches kind of really like to grab, and that really helps a lot with holding the glue down. Okay, we're gonna put that down and press. There we go. And why I like using the hot glue is it would already be dry by now. It's faster than the quick dry. Okay, and then we're going to layer our embellishment. And the way that I made these is I had a flower punch. I punched out all different pattern papers, layered up 3, and then stitched and glued on a button. So they are all unique and individual. And if you would like a set of 20 for your paper crafting, they are going to be in my shop. Here we go. And then there will be a tassel attached with a garment pin or a safety pin right there. And you will get to see that on the flip through. But I've done videos on making tassels, so you can search my channel for that if you're interested in that. But we just made an adorable mini journal from one of Calico Collage's kits. You can do this with any of her kits, any kit where you can print 2 to a page, like, because these are JPEGs, picture files, and you just print 2 to a page. I use the 5x7 setting and then trim it down, and it makes this adorable little, let's see if this was 7 inches. So this is 3.5 by 5.5 size. Really cute. So, thinking about this. Okay, so the paper, these are going to be in my shop. You know, I need to think everything out beforehand, but whatever. These paper flowers with the buttons, they're in my shop when this video goes live. So if you click my shop link below, they will be there if they have not sold out. This journal, however, is not completed, and I need to totally embellish it, and I need to make a tassel. So this is not in my shop yet. I will do a separate video with a complete flip through of this so you know exactly what you are getting. And yeah, now if by chance you know you want this journal just from what you've seen in this video, just send me a message on Etsy and I will send you a pre-order link. It'll go straight to you and it won't even go up to the public. So yeah, if you know you want it, then send me a message and we'll take care of that, because I plan on finishing this today or tomorrow. So within the next couple days, it should be out to you even if you pre-order it. So have a wonderful day, and I hope this tutorial really inspired you to use your digital kits in a mini fashion. Check out Calico Collage's link below. If you go under my design team list in the description box, click on her Etsy shop, and you can use any of her kits. This one is called Songbird, but any of her kits would be perfect in a little mini version. So I hope that you enjoy that.